in your profession, in your life, overburdened with theory has confused humanity a lot. And a very interesting uh, lesson that I had learned from one of the books where I was reading about criticism, literary criticism. And there, the author is mentioning about how the Western criticism, which dominates the present Indian literary world as well, had been so confusing and jargonized that penetration into that world has become very difficult for the general people, the general readers. Like if you look at the new criticism in Europe that starts with, people like William Empson and Clint Brooks, I.A. Richards, it is comprehensible. But as it moves towards very, very contemporary critiques or theorists of criticism and philosophers, you come across people like, Roland Barthes or Michel Foucault, where the entire authorship is being taken away from the writer or the creator or the performer. The association, the attachment of the creator with the creation is being snatched away. And definitely, when you reach Derrida, then the entire world of making meaning is blurred. So what happens that only a handful of people who had been schooled into that particular art is able to comprehend what these critics are talking about, or what is the process that is being proposed. So theory in contemporary times have also become so loaded that even when we go for conferences and symposiums, we usually feel that it is merely talking, and merely sharing of theories which do not penetrate majorly. I'm not saying all, majorly do not penetrate the consciousness or the being of the participants or the listeners or the audience. And this is something very tragic that is happening to Indian academia. But if you look at our Indian way of looking at art, the Indian artistic theories are so very embodied. The entire decolonization is required, as if when you are looking at teaching that talks about embodiment of knowledge, experience of knowledge, not knowing of knowledge. It doesn't kind of limit you to just knowing of knowledge, but also experiencing it. It allows you to participate. The entire, from Gurukul system to Rishikul, going into the teachings of Vedas, very complicated knowledge, very complicated ideas, very sophisticated theories are there. But even there too, the attempt that is made by these great seers, whom we kind of analogically, mention as scholars or researchers, they have always tried to suck in the participant or the reader or the learner into the entire ambit of knowledge. That is what had been done in our Indian knowledge system. The transferring of knowledge was just not the process of just giving, just kind of dropping in the knowledge, not dropping, because this is also something that I have seen, dropping of names in different papers, innumerable names are being dropped. Whereas that exploration is not. Definitely we need to cite, definitely we need to give references, definitely we need to acknowledge the different resources that we are using, but that has merely become a name-dropping exercise for most, theoretical thesis and papers and research papers that I had been encountering, and I also feel that you must be also feeling the same. But how are you integrating these different resources? How are you creating a dialogue, and how are you penetrating into that atmosphere of a particular idea that you are trying to posit or you are trying to claim is not there. That is why these days, when I am going to different different seminars, basically mostly in outside India, I am seeing that they are allowing a lot of embodied research, which is a very, very Indian way of looking at knowledge. And so they are not only depending on theoretical claims, but also looking at the space where it is being experienced, how it is being experienced, and also I have seen that there are various theoretical paper being presented with demonstrations, with examples which are live there. And that makes the entire exercise very, very intense, and it becomes something very, very, what I would say, it touches you. It creates a kind of relishing of the knowledge, cherishing of the knowledge, and just not kind of receiving of the knowledge. And so today, when we are looking at rasa or bhava, which we had discussed theoretically yesterday, what rasa is, how rasa is created, who is experiencing rasa, what is bhava, what is dhvani. We have dealt with these things. Now today we'll look at how we can create a rasa-informed pedagogy, because all of you are into this exercise of sharing knowledge, teaching. So how can we use this technology and understand this technology in your teaching methodology? How do we do that? Basically, I would always claim that a professor or a lecturer is just not delivering a lecture, but is also a dramaturg. Who is a dramaturg? A dramaturg is somebody who designs the entire thing. So a classroom is just not a space of providing lecture, but is there. It is already there. Moments of entrances, moments of exits. There is an attention arc of the audience, that is of the students. There is a scope of relationality. How are you creating the how are you kind of creating the relation between your audience and yourself? And the entire lecture is not a monotonous, reading of text or delivering of text or a delivering of the knowledge that you are trying to give, but there is a shift in tempo. And there is this very, very ritualistic way of asking questions that, did you all understand? Do you have any questions? Now, all this is a very dramaturgical arrangement of the class, which you might not be very conscious of. But you are doing this already. And because of that, I think we need to look into the process of participatory dramaturgy, like how this dramaturgy can be enhanced, how the experience of the students can be made rasotirna. There is a uttaran happening, there is a levitation happening. And how is this levitation happening? Through rasa. How rasa is allowing the student or the learner to kind of have that elevated experience of rasa in the class. Maybe you are doing theoretical physics. You are studying maybe higher mathematics, very complex Euclidean geometry. You are going into the something that is very, very complicated. But how do we understand that it has just not been a mere, sharing of knowledge, but also this experience have actually taken them to a different realm. And when they go back with an understanding. A rasa understanding is there. And this entire process is a very collaborative process between the spectator and the performer, between the lecturer and the student. And this role transfer is very interesting, that happens in the classroom through your questions, through interrogations, through debate, through so many things that happens in the classroom. So I feel that this performance studies that we are doing here, the Indian aesthetics like rasa, bhava, dhvani, how do they enter your classroom? So today we would kind of look into this translation of rasa, bhava, and orality, and I'm also including something more important, that is a text called Bhaktirasāmṛtasindhu, where rasa is being transferred or is being discussed as bhakti by Rūpa Gosvāmin, which can also be brought into this pedagogical sphere, the understanding of learning system. Because I feel a classroom is just not a container. It is not there. It is a very designed event. Even if you are not conscious, the entire entry, exit of students, professors, lecture starting, lecture finishing, debating, asking questions, the diagrams on the board, the visual presentation, pacing of the professor inside the classrooms. This is all designed. Maybe you are doing it unconsciously, but it is composed. And why we are composing it? Because you are just not a broadcaster of knowledge. You are just not kind of reading it out. You are composing attention in your audience, like a performer composes attention from the audience. You are trying to do it. You are curating different thresholds. They are actually kind of, this idea of liminality that is there in Victor Turner, where you are crossing the threshold and you are becoming the part of the community of learners. And how that happens. What are these aspects of Sahridaya and Sadharanikarana is playing a role here. How you become a facilitator of a shared cognition. The sadharanikarana is this shared cognition. How are you doing that? These aspects we are going to kind of look, and rasa theory is basically giving this to a faculty, a precise design which can kind of enhance the entire process. So with this introduction, as usual, I would also like to share a video. This video has nothing to do with what I have said, but I would like you to see how a performance can also be like this. And thereafter, I will go into the details of rasa as cognition, the design that I'm talking of the classroom. So we will go into design thinking a little bit. And thereafter, we will look into the other aspects of orality. And definitely, I would listen to the story. So I would dedicate, 10 minutes. And I would also request other professors, those who are present, apart from those who have chosen stories from their lives, from books like Panchatantra or 101 stories, or stories from classics like, Shakespearean stories, or Dickens, or maybe Maupassant, um, anybody like Kafka, or whoever you might have chosen, or your own personal written stories, you can work on that. But other professors, I would also like you to think about a particular chapter that you need to prepare. And when you are preparing these chapters, can we go by this process of writing 6 important lines about that chapter and create a narrative around those 6 lines, and how you would design your class to create a rasa that would actually help you to that will help the students to cognize you like a taste. The cognition is as if being tasted. Now you might ask, can we taste our feelings? We do. There are innumerable of examples when you are angry, when you are happy. The taste in your mouth changes. You can feel the bitter taste, though you are not putting any bitter substance on your tongue, but the taste in your mouth changes. So literally also, cognition is being tasted. Anger is being tasted. Laughter, happiness is being tasted. Frustration is being tasted. So everything you are tasting. So you are relishing that. And how this relishing becomes a shareable community experience, that also we like to talk. But I would like you to choose topics. It can be higher calculus, it can be trigonometry, it can be theoretical physics, it can be things from astronomy, it can be things from not only literature, but also anything that you are teaching, from topographical ideas in geography, where there is no story at the superficial level, or usually we fail to find stories in that, but how the story remains, hidden, and how you can extract that story and then kind of make your performance in the class a kind of a rasa cognition, how you can do that. And for this, you don't have to make your class very funny. I'm not saying that you are teaching something of very complicated in the idea of motion and bodies and matter, but there you need to create something very funny and attractive. You don't have to entertain your children. No, it's not about entertainment. Try to understand that though performance is basically meant to entertain, here I'm not requesting you or trying to kind of provoke you to make your class entertaining. Entertain entertainment might be a default kind of experience there. It might happen, and it would happen if it is like relishable and shareable, and that rasa experience would happen. I will also talk about that, why it can be an entertainment, but that's not your focus. Your focus is to create that intelligible experience which is there and has that bodily kind of experience also into it. That is what we are going to look at. So now please let me share a video, as I had said, and thereafter we will go into that. And just at 7:50, I would stop and we would listen to the different stories that we are going to work on, just giving you an outline of how we are going to work. Tomorrow, I'm also going to look at this performative aspect. That is, today I would continue with Rasa, Bhaktirasāmṛtasindhu and all that. And tomorrow I will move into Abhinaya, and especially Katha Abhinaya, which is my personal practice also. And from there, we would request you to prepare small stories. It can be something very, very theoretical, very, very academic. It can also be something very creative, like it can be a small little story that you've written or experienced. And then on the final day, we would like to hear some performances from you. So it will be a complete circle from the performance which I had done in the first day. On the 5th day, we would like you to share your performance. So please be ready for that. So now what I was talking about this video, please have a look. And then I will give you a brief note on this also.
मैं सिर्फ 3 घंटा आपसे मांग रहा हूं। इस 3 घंटे के अंदर मैं आपको एडवांस एक्सेल के फॉर्मूलाज के साथ एआई और चैट जीपीटी
So I showed you a glimpse of a performance that is happening in a famous, museum in New York City. And can anyone tell me that what is the name of this artist? Anyone? Can anyone tell me? Has anyone seen this art earlier? Okay, so the artist is basically, yes. Mamtaji, you are right. Yes, Marina Abramovich. And Marina Abramovich is a performance artist. Thank you so much for letting me know that you have seen this experience. And just give me a second because there is a knocking in the door. Just give me a second. I'm so sorry. Okay, so there was someone at the door. Uh, okay, so what happens is that nothing happens. Nothing happens in this performance. The name of the performance, as you have mentioned, is The Artist is Present. And Marina is continuously sitting there on a chair, and there is another chair for the audience. And the audience, whoever, one or two people, they are coming, they're sitting on the chair and just looking at Marina. That is all. And you won't believe that what crazy, I was showing you the different cues that is being formed to enter into that space, to just look and experience it. Why do you think that this is considered to be one of the best performance of Marina, and it has been very popular? What is there in this performance? Can anyone share? Like, what are you getting from it? Your understanding, like, you might not be, there is no right or wrong to it. I just want you to observe and tell me why it became so popular, and why, not only in New York, in Japan, in everywhere. Okay, there is somebody who comes up with this experience of Shanta Rasa. Okay, Marina's calmness is something that is so, what you call, infective and infectious. The ability to stay calm, unmoved, even under observation, when people are observing. Consistent calmness. Drishtipata. Okay, a wonderful clarity. Okay, so what we see here, very interesting. I won't go into the discussion of it, but because Shanta Rasa is coming as a prompt from most of you, we will talk about this Shanta Rasa also, that how in a very active class you can create this Shanta Rasa. It is not that only in inaction you have Shanta Rasa. Shanta Rasa can also be experienced in action. Because Shanta, what is Shanta? The body is not Shanta. We are not talking about body. It is the rasa which you are experiencing in yourself. And so we are talking about Shanta, of the Shanta Bhava of your mind. When in yoga also you are calling about yogas chitta vritti nirodha, you are not talking about vrittis of your body. Like whatever you are doing with your body, it is not being talked about that. You are actually talking about the vritti of your mind. That has to be stopped in yoga. Very interestingly, you have mentioned that how she is transmitting her powers through her eyes when she is looking at it. Very interesting observations, and I appreciate your participation for this. What I feel is that this is what is required when you are conducting your class. And so, as I said, that we would also discuss this Shanta Rasa. What Abhinavagupta, when he adds a Shanta, he is saying that whatever, like in Aristotle also, when you are actually experiencing this climax, the catastrophe, What happens after catastrophe? He is talking about purification of the mind. You are having a pure mind, and you are clear with all. There is a clarity in your mind. But what needs to be understood here, that this clarity of mind is not talking about a silent body or a quiet body. It is talking about a silent mind. So Abhinavagupta says that whatever experiences you have through these 8 rasas, ultimately you are experiencing Shanta. Whatever, it might be Veera, it might be Karuna, it might be Vibhatsa, it might be Adbhuta, whatever the rasa you are experiencing, the finality of your experience is Shanta. And later scholars are also coming to this one particular rasa, which we find in Bhakti. It is coming to Bhakti rasa, the final rasa. Whether you have this Dasa Bhava and you have this Sringara rasa, that is Rati is the Bhava, or you have Sakhya Bhava, or you have Dasa Bhava, whatever might be the Bhava, but finally you are experiencing Bhakti rasa. So this kind of narrowing the all experiences into one rasa, that is Bhakti. Even what Kamsa, the kind of relationality that Kamsa has, is ultimately taking him to that Shanta. That is what Bhagavatam is talking. That he, through his enmity, he is reaching Krishna, or he is achieving Krishna. Achieving Krishna means achieving Shanta Bhava. Achieving Shanta Bhava means you are achieving the Brahman. You are achieving the ultimate truth. That is what we are talking about. So similarly, here when we are talking, what are we noticing in our students? What do they feel is at stake when they are entering, when they are listening to you? Because in higher scholarship, it is not mere information that you are transforming. You are actually forming judgment. Now, there is a formation of judgment in them. They are looking at how to look at a problem, how to see a problem, how to choose a method. So many optional methods are there. It's not like kindergarten classes. It's not like schools. In the higher education, you are trying to generate all this judgments, feeling what is being challenged, what is at risk, what is at stake. Looking at different methods to kind of negotiate that, encounter that. So while you are doing this, your quality of mind changes. And from there emerges these kind of rasa experiences. Wonder. You are having wonder. You are having uneasiness. You're feeling courageous to enter into that world of knowledge deeper and deeper. Or you are coming to a state of quietude when you are kind of listening to him. Or you might also feel in literature, in reading poetry, when you are also finding that tenderness. Or if it is it's science, you are having that rigor. So all this. So you know that for this, you need the Sahridaya, the kind of capability of a relisher. I was telling yesterday that we need that ambience where you might have the Sumana, the pure mind. How can you create that atmosphere, not only in the, like on campus, but also in your classroom? How are you creating that? So it is not a very, difficult analogy. Don't think I'm trying to pull and kind of, making it a forceful analog. No. This is what you are actually doing, and they are going through these experiences. So when we are talking about design, we can look into the design science, like I was talking about design. Then we can talk about the big theory of constructive alignment of your the knowledge that you want to kind of give them. What is that constructive alignment? You are looking at, definitely, when you must have done at the lower levels when you have been teaching in your beginning of your career, that what are the learning outcomes. But as you kind of upgrade yourself with knowledge and experience, the learning outcome is already there. You do not do a proper lesson plan, but you have already assumed that. So that we will talk when we will talk about Wiggins and McTeague, what that the backward design. But when in the constructive alignment, you are looking at these outcomes. You are looking at the teaching activities that you are doing. Even your mobility in the classroom is an activity. Even in making a student stand and ask a question is an activity. And then you are assessing it. And what Biggs is talking about is these different constructions are aligned. They have a coherence. They are actually bringing a different kind of coherence in the entire learning process. And this is where the alignment is actually giving you that rasa experience and also the student. An affective quality is developed through the cognition that happens in the class. So this design system can be applied to create this rasa. And when we are looking at backward design like Wiggins and McTeague, what are they doing? They are looking at first that what am I asking for? What do I want in this class? Today, I'm going to talk about rasa, and I'm going to talk about dhwani, and I'm also going to bring in this aspect of pedagogy, which has been our major concern, and designing the entire teaching learning method. I'm looking at the target. What is the target of today's class? What am I looking from? Because yesterday, what I felt that I couldn't reach the target because of the time constraint or my extension of the lecture. So today I wouldn't want. I have been very clear about it. And so what I did is I designed it. And then you are also looking at the evidences, that how am I going to look for what evidences are there, and then you look at the learning experience. So first you fix the target that is there, which is the end of product of your class. From there you are moving into your how you are going to kind of find different evidences, and then you are looking at learning experience. So from learning experience you actually reach to evidences, and then you look at the finality of your reception. But you are designing your thing from backwards. So first you look at what rasa do you want the children to feel. What is that felt sense of your topic that day, whatever it is. Every day it might not be awe. Some days it might be fear. When you are teaching higher calculus, it is usually fear. But one day you think that you are going to bring in that element of awe in them, and a different kinds of that rasa experience is when the child feels, oh, this is the moment. I got it. This field is actually doing this. Oh, I got it. This kind of experience which happens in the child is nothing but a rasa experience. So in your design thinking of your class, you are going to include empathy, prototypes, and then iterate it. It's a human-centered, iterative design. You are integrating the different needs, different constraints, possibilities, and through that, you are actually kind of removing predictable misconceptions, You are also looking at the anxiety of the child as the child is entering, the student who is entering this world of that particular knowledge. And then you are looking at these moment of crossing the liminal space, the threshold. When you are actually crossing the liminal space, you are able to understand. So what, and therefore you bring in different kinds of stories and symbols through which you are able to deliver it. And finally, you look at whether it worked or not. What change in the quality of mind are you observing? And here comes the Bhaktirasāmṛtasindhu. Another 5-6 minutes and I'll be over with this small little delivery that I have, the notes that I have prepared. I would like to. That Bhaktirasāmṛtasindhu is a phenomenal treatise created by Rūpa Gosvāmin. And Rūpa Gosvāmin is the Sada Goswami, the 6 Goswamis that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had. One of them was Rūpa Gosvāmin. And Rūpa Gosvāmin wrote this book in which he took elements from Nāṭyaśāstra to use in bhakti practice. It treats devotion as an aesthetic cognitive architecture. It is a learning and an experiencing design for the devotee, which he had taken elements from the Rasa theory of Nāṭyaśāstra. And he has given a very elaborate discussion. We won't go into that. But what he is doing in that Rasa grammar, he is using the 3 elements, Vibhava, Anubhava, Vyavicari bhava. And in Vibhava, Alambana and Uddipana, the cause and the stimuli. So when you are planning a lesson, your Vibhava would be, what is the cause of this particular knowledge that I'm going? When you are cause of that experience that the students are going to have, what is that which I need to bring in my classroom? Is it my presence? Is it the introduction? Is it the subject? Or is it the example? And how you are adding lot of stimuli. You are giving lot of examples, you are giving some analogies, you are bringing in some kind of other excerpts from different books, you are kind of referring to different videos, and thereafter. So these are all stimuli. And while you are conducting the class, you are looking at the anubhavas of the students. What are their responses? You are looking at their expressions. So if you want to be a very, very effective guru, they do not push through knowledge. You know, if you look at Gurukul system, they are not pushing. They have a very designed kind of a class which is actually taking a lot of time. Like if you read Sattvaketu, when Sattvaketu goes to his guru, the lessons are so very, very weird. He is told to take the cows for a certain period of time, like years, and breed those cows. But that particular activity is just a stimuli to kind of give the experience of Brahman to Sattvaketu, because Sattvaketu had the question that what is truth? What is that absolute truth that I need to know? And to know that, he has created all these vibhavas, these different uddipanas. And then he is responding to the responses of Sattvaketu when he comes and then says, no, you have to go again, back. And every time he goes, he has these sattvika rasa experiences. Very, very embodied, involuntary signs are coming in. He didn't have to say also that he had got the knowledge. At the end, the guru knows that Sattvaketu had got the truth. Because the sthayi bhava of Shanta had, had evolved in his body. He has embodied the involuntary signs of gathering that knowledge. And here comes bhakti. Bhakti is always insisting of embodiment of that knowledge. You are reading Bhagavatam, but you are just not reading Bhagavatam. You want to experience Bhagavata. And then to experience that Bhagavata, you are choosing characters. Like the other day, somebody said that I would love to tell the story of Yashoda and Yashoda's relationship with Krishna. So this is Vatsalya Bhava that she wants to work with. And when you actually, this is what in Raganuga Bhakti, you actually practice that bhakti yourself to embody that bhakti, and also bhakti is what you achieve. Means bhakti is the sadhya and bhakti is also your sadhana. So here knowledge is your sadhya and knowledge is your sadhana. Through knowledge you get knowledge. Through wisdom you get wisdom. The process and the goal remains the same. That is what is very interesting about all learning, which is here in Bhakti Rasa is so very evident. And so, keeping these things in mind, when you are actually kind of designing, so in Bhakti, what are you trying? What is your goal? You want to get Krishna. But when you are teaching in your class, what are your goals? Your goals are truth-seeking, you want justice, you want some understanding of a chemical formula, you are trying to understand a physical concept, you are trying to get some numerical complexity being resolved. So these are all your goals. But your process, the goal which you want to achieve, you have to go through that itself. So devotion becomes not only the process, it becomes the evidence, it becomes the reality in which you want to actually kind of be there, and it is also the discipline that you are following, the knowledge that you are following. So this is, all these are very, very superficial, very peripheral, very basics. We can go very deep into it, but 5 days with so many things, rasa and bhakti and abhinaya, and then related to pedagogy, it is just a kind of a basic understanding of it. And I wish that you use this in your pedagogical methods, in your pedagogical styles that you have adopted. Look at the visible responses of your students, design the stimuli, and definitely achieve that kind of transcendental experience, that wow moment in your students, which would actually give them that rasa experience. Finally, we have almost, it is 50. Last thing, why sadharanikarana is something that we are insisting on. Like, what is this sadharanikarana? Why do you want that? If I tell you that you have seen, or you were walking down the street and you met a person, and you saw in front of your eyes a vehicle rushes and kind of hits that person, and that person meets with a very fatal accident. You have an emotional experience. Is the experience individual or universal? Yes, please. Is the experience individual or universal?
Sir, I think it will be universal.
Okay, fine. Others?
But the intensity of emotions rushed in will be individual. It depends upon individual to individual.
Okay, no, that I understand. Mamta ji, individual. Yes. It is when you are seeing a real tragedy in front of you, this reality is an individual experience. It is very unique of its kind. Even if there are 20 other people, that is a individual experience. That is an individual experience. But when you are seeing a performance like Romeo and Juliet and you see them dying, and I request you, would you like to see it again? You would say yes. But if I tell you, would you like to go to that street and meet that accident, meet that friend who meets with that accident again? Do you want to repeat that experience again? You would say, no, no, I don't want to see that fatal accident. I can't take it. Because that was very individual, you are not able to accept it. You can't kind of, revisit it. But when it becomes universal, that same kind of accident which happens on the stage or it happens in the film, you are again and again, you are going. If you love that film, you are again and again going and seeing Romeo Juliet's death. You are going and seeing Othello's death. You are going and seeing Desdemona's death. You are going and seeing Macbeth's death. You are going and seeing Hamlet's death. You are going and seeing Ravana's death. You are going and seeing Karna's death. Why? Because there has been something where a similar kind of a tragedy, because you are empathizing with when you are actually kind of seeing the performance, you are empathizing, you are weeping. When Karna dies, you feel so bad, you are suffering, but you want to participate in that suffering again and again, because that tragedy has been levitated to the level of rasa experience through aesthetic quality. You have added aesthetics to it. You have added art to it. That is what I want to say, that your educational process should add art to it. It should add art to it, because when the student experiences it, he wants to revisit that particular experience of knowing sine theta and cot theta and tan theta or cos theta. What are they doing? They are again and again wants to visit it, because the experience had been universalized. The cathartic experience which mentioned has actually purified your mind, and you are a state of calmness. So this is the calmness that we want in our children. This is the experience that we desire from our students. And let's see how strategically we can plan this. Tomorrow we would be looking into the Abhinaya aspect of it. Oh yes, I would definitely talk about the painting that you see behind me, this particular thing. And that is Ma Sharda. This small little picture is of Ma Sharda. And the painting that has been done by one of my students. And I will definitely talk about that. It's a mother and a daughter. So I'll talk about that later. But now I would love to hear the 6 lines that you have designed, the stories that you have thought of. And I would request other participants also not to kind of, yes. Ma has always been a part of this trouble. Okay, so thank you. Thank you, all of you, for all these wonderful comments that I find here. Can we just listen to the stories? So one by one, if you can share your stories, I'd be really grateful. So just the 6 lines, and then I will let you know tomorrow that how you can add Abhinaya to it. Please. Yes, Mona ma'am, Vijay Lakshmi ma'am.
Sir, I would begin, but then I feel like take away all the. Sir, there is a Gujarati song that says,
Okay.
Ramji, tame Sita ji na tole na hav. You do not come at par with her.
Okay.
And I wanted to bring that in. And I imagine that Sita is now finally asking Earth to take her in. And this is she who's addressing me. And she
Okay.
says, you examined, you took an Agni Pariksha of somebody who was your own shadow.
Okay.
And people do praise you. People talk about how you vanquished the 10-headed. But much before you, I did this. Because even when I was alone and staying in his Ashok Vatika, he did not dare touch me. So he had already been vanquished. So who you killed had already been vanquished. And you just did the needful, you did the physical killing of the body. The man was vanquished and gone by the time that you came. And so today, I wish not to come back to you because I feel that you are not in a position that you are at par with me, and I do not want to be at par with somebody. I do not want to be with somebody who can, at the drop of a hat, leave me, bring me back, accept me, make a golden statue out of me, and I have to go now. And she goes away.
Okay, wonderful. At the whims of the man, the woman has to come and go. So a very generic kind of an idea which can be readdressed and looked into, and a very interesting poetic line that you mentioned. And so I wish you to kind of make it summarize it into 6 lines only. That's a very important task.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why 6 lines. Okay. There is a Boalian theory. Augusto Boal said the story of 6 images, and through 6 images you can come to a complete expression of the entire idea. Any idea, through 6 images you can tell that. This has been kind of neuroaesthetically, it had been proved. So I would wish you to write it in only 6 lines, this entire narrative that you shared. Okay, can I have the second story?
Yes, sir, this is Vijaya Lakshmi.
Yes, ma'am, please.
Sir, yesterday I promised you regarding the hare and the tortoise story. I have imagined with my own perspective, and I'm not a good narrator actually, but I will try. The story is the hare and the tortoise, tired of their endless races, rested beneath a cool banyan tree, and with a gentle sigh of compassion, agreed to end their competition forever. Instead of racing, they chose to wander the world together, each heading a different way. The hare stepped eastward, eyes bright with curiosity, while the tortoise set westward, his steps slow and steady. Mid journey, a sudden storm rolled in thunder, cracked, and the hare felt a cold shiver of fear. Yet he kept moving, sending word of his plight to his friend by a swift messenger bird. Hearing of the hare's fear, the tortoise felt a wave of compassion and whispered encouragement through the wind, reminding him that courage grows in the heart of fear. Though they never crossed paths again, their friendship deepened across the miles, each carrying the other's strength and tenderness within. In the end, they learn that life is true race isn't against one another, but against loneliness, compassion, and courage together make any journey worthwhile. Thank you, sir.
Wow, wow, wonderful, wonderful. Very good, very good. So the instead of kind of the race is there, but the race is not in the same direction, but the race is different. And basically the idea of race actually dissolves when you move in different direction with your own speed, you put your identity, you don't dilute, isn't it? They're very interesting. That
Thank you so much, sir.
where the hare is known for speed, the turtle is known for its slowness. And
Yes.
speed and slowness, both are aspects of our lives.
Yes.
We need
I tried it that yesterday you talked about the rasas, right? I
Right.
tried to include the rasa of Karuna and Bhaya into it. A little bit.
Lovely, lovely. Thank you, Vijayalakshmi ji. Yes. So next story.
So this is Dr. Shalini.
Yes, Dr. Shalini, please.
So yesterday I talked about the love of Yashoda and Shri
Oh,
Krishna.
yes, you did. That's what I
Sir,
meant.
I tried to create a story about it,
Mhm.
and the another I tried to create two stories.
Okay.
So one is about the Yashoda and Krishna, and
Mhm.
the another one is about the Lion King.
Okay.
You must have heard about it.
But
So
the
first
Lion
I'll
King
go
is the film Lion King?
about the Mufasa, sir, the son of Mufasa.
Oh, yes. I know the film that was so very popular
Yes,
from
sir,
the
sir.
Disney
So
world.
I'll go one by one. I hope I tried best, sir. So the first one is about the Vatsalya Ras. So in Gokul Golden Dawn, Yashoda churned butter, humming Krishna's name with every loving breath. Soon the gopis arrived in a flurry of complaints. Maya, your Kana has emptied our butter pots again. Yashoda's eyes flashed like storm clouds as she called out for her mischievous child. She found him hiding behind an overturned pot, cheeks painted white with stolen butter, curls trembling. Though her voice scolded him sternly, her heart overflowed when he wrapped his tiny arms around her waist. In that tender moment bloomed the love for Krishna when a mother anger melts into boundless forgiving love.
Wow. Wonderful, wonderful. That's great. That's great, Shalini ji. That is wonderful. And would you like to share the other one too?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. The second story is about the Shringar Ras,
Mm-hmm.
and I tried to find out the Vyabhachari Bhav you talked about yesterday. So that is the transitory emotions.
Right.
So, so the story begins like this. In the vast Pride lands, Simba was born as the future king, bringing joy to all the animals. His father, Mufasa, taught him about the courage, responsibility, and the circle of life. But Scar, driven by jealousy, betrayed Mufasa and seized the throne. Heartbroken and afraid, Simba fled the kingdom, believing he was to blame. With the help of the loyal friends, he fought his strength and true identity. In the end, Simba returned bravely to defeat Scar and restore peace to the Pride Lands.
Wow, wow, that's wonderful. The Simba story. You take me back to that entire
Sir, I
film.
just
Like,
tried. Sir, I just tried.
lovely. It's lovely. A trial itself is the process. You know, trial itself is the process, and every trial, every effort, every attempt is in itself is a beautiful thing. So I think you have created such beautiful, and so beautiful storyline of two wonderful stories with so many, Vyabhichari bhavas. The mool sthai bhavas are also there, the predominant bhavas. Very good. So thank you, Shalini ji. We have another 4 minutes. We would wrap up by 8:10. So Aishwarya ji, you wanted to share?
May I, sir?
Oh, Mamta ji, yes, please go ahead. Yes.
It's less of a story and more of an effort on my part.
Yes.
Uh, the race began amidst a great cheer on the waterfront. The red team huffed and puffed with all their might and raced on. The green team flexed their muscles and with sweat flowing behind their backs put their visible efforts. The blue team had a cheerful countenance and a song on their lips, and they plodded on effortlessly and smoothly. The spectators watched on. The blue team had already won.
Wow, wonderful. This is Dhwani, this is how you suggest something which is literally there is a different meaning that what happens. And even if you don't give the last line, also we understand that who is winning. And that is suggesting that which way to look at. Wonderful, wonderful, Mamta ji. Thank you so
sir.
much.
Thank you, sir.
Very good, very good. Alka ji, you wanted to share something?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Sir, the story is like this. After years of struggle, the girl Meera finally stood on the stage to receive her award. Her eyes searched the crowd, hoping to see her late father's smiling face. Pride filled with her heart, yet a quiet ache trembled within her chest. The applause grew louder, but tears silently rolled down her cheeks. In that moment, success felt both beautiful and incomplete. She bowed with gratitude, carrying joy, and winged with longing. So, in this story, in my like it's imagination only. So
Yeah.
here is Thai rasa, dominant rasa, which you were talking about yesterday. It's karuna,
Corona. Okay.
as the underlying lasting emotion caused by the absence of her father. And Vyabhachari rasa is joy, like harsha rasa. Smriti, because of she is recalling her father.
Mhm.
Vishad, sadness,
Mm.
emotional pain, and tears are there. And she's like, she has a sense of achievement. So, garva, pride, rasa is
Right.
also there. So, it's a
Ahankar.
combination of different.
Yeah, so and these are all temporary things. Like
Yes, yes, sir.
going
These
back.
are all temporary. Vyabhachari.
Walkaji, that's wonderful. And thank you for sharing it. It's great. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so we can have, I think, one last story because we have 1 more minute. So if anybody wish to share any, and I would request others also to know that all these kind of story as story is already there. But if Vijay Lakshmi ji, you would like to share something.
Sir, I want to know today's homework actually,
Okay.
so that
Uh,
prepare.
today's homework is whatever pieces you have done. Now that is a very, very, raw kind of element that you have produced today. I would like you to work on it a little more, that though in your mind you've thought of the rasa, you've thought of the different bhavas, but when you are, producing it in front of me or to the audience, all the other people, how are you going to say? So tomorrow what you have to look at is your vocal quality, and maybe if you can switch on your videos, I want to see your physical movement, your eyes, your movement of the hands. So all these elements of abhinaya, I want to see that how you want to present that same story. It is for all those done. And those who have not done, but also I'm thinking of stories, I want to see the present, like you like to give it, garnish it. When you have made your wonderful, paneer, paneer with something, how are you presenting it? Are you putting it in a glass bowl, or are you giving it very sophisticated bronze pot, or you are giving what is the color of the spoon, what about the coaster on which you are keeping it, are you covering it with a plate or you are covering it with a kind of embroidered cloth. This entire thing is your thoughtfulness is there involved in. And then when I experience the rasa is not only experienced by the tasting of the food, but even opening. When I open, I get the smell. And then I look at it, I get another experience. Then I take a spoonful of that paneer and put it in my mouth. And then so this entirety of the experience is because of this presentation. So you have got the raw, your paneer is ready. But now how are you going to present it to the audience? That is what the hope. Is it clear?
Sir, I definitely try tomorrow, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, so thank you everyone. Thank you for being so patient. And today I thought I won't have a slide presentation which misguides me quite often. I thought I will just talk to you. And thank you. I think
Thank you so much, sir. Today's session was wonderful.
thank you so much, sir, Sandeep sir. Yes, Pradyuman sir.
Ji sir, thank you very much. One thing is that I have gradually started liking is that participants have started responding more day by day. So I'm glad that as a team, we all are enjoying this journey of learning and we would continue doing it that manner. So thank you, everyone. Thank you very much, Janardan, sir. Looking forward to see you all tomorrow.
Okay, okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you so much.